myself together here. Hello, 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 everybody. Happy Monday. Yes, yes, yes. It is Lashana Williams coming to you on this great Monday. Some of us are sad. I'm sorry. I'm not a big, well, let me not say that. I got into the Super Bowl last night. It may have been the first football game I have ever watched for more than like 2 minutes. So I did enjoy the game. I was invested in it. I had some square thing that I did at the job or whatever. So I was invested in it, and it did hurt my heart to find out that the Falcons lost. However, in the first half, they did play their hearts out. So I have to give it to them for playing their hearts out and for getting that far. But from my football connoisseurs, I hear that there was some fumbles and some mistakes made. But from a novice myself, I was like, ooh, that was a great game. So for all of you that are still kind of having the Super Bowl blues today, I'm sorry. But I want you to have a happy Monday anyway. So again, if you are watching us live, just please comment so I know that you're there. Let me know your thoughts as I go through this stuff. Let me comments, what have you, and always inbox me. So let's get right into it. So for those of you who do not know me, I am Lashana Williams, the Success Navigator and your coach and your guide on the journey to success and your accountability partner to help you go from paycheck to purpose. So I asked you the question, are you ready to launch? And everybody should be like, yes! Are you ready to launch a business? Are you ready to launch your purpose-driven project? Whether it's a book, whether it's a non-for-profit organization, whatever it is, are you ready to launch? And I'm telling you, all of y'all should be like, yes, 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 yes. So if you are raising your hand and you are shouting out, yes, 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 yes. Well, if you are, you know what? Let me hear you say yes, or type yes in the comments, right? Say yes, 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 yes. You're ready to launch. You're ready to do a darn thing. You're ready to, make it happen. If that's you, say yes. So you answer that question, right? But then there's that looming question that comes right after it. I'm ready to launch, but now what? I'm ready to launch, but I don't know how. And that was me a few years ago, not long ago. Okay, I will tell anybody I am a parallelpreneur. I have a full-time job and I have my own business. So I worked in corporate America for maybe 20 years before even launching my business or what have you. So all I knew was corporate. All I knew was I had a job description. This is what I did. I had the systems. Everything was in place. There was desktop procedures. There was this. I got trained. So I knew all of this. But the entrepreneurial wall, I had no clue. I just knew people did it. My cousin is an entrepreneur, but I had no clue about what she does. So I had to learn those tools, right? So I was in the same position. I was asking myself, I want to do this. I want to do a darn thing. I want to make it. I want to build my legacy, but I don't know how. So after banging my head against the wall and figuring out finding out that I can't do it by myself, that what I had some of the tools, but I didn't know how to put it all together. So what I did, and listen to these 5 steps that I took so that I can launch my business successfully. And some of you, like you're asking yourself that question, now what? What do I do? So listen to these 5 things. 1, the first thing I did was to hire a coach. And some of you be like, oh Lord, there she go. No, let me tell you something. Like I said, I knew I'd climbed the corporate ladder. I know that. I knew corporate America inside and out. And yes, Google could be your best friend, okay? Me and Google, we are best buddies, right? I could type in 2 letters and Google will know what I need. But I could not figure out, I can type in all of this stuff, but Google would just spit out data and spit out information. So if I wanted social media or, I wanted marketing or any of these things, I could go to Google and get a whole list of information, but I didn't know what to do and what that meant and how to put it together and what the pieces were and what should I do first. I didn't know any of that. So yes, you can have Google as your best friend. You could go to 5 different seminars or whatever. And, if that's your thing, you can do it yourself and try to do the trial and error thing. But for me, because I work a full-time job, I didn't want to have that. I didn't have that time to go to every conference, to sit down and be on the internet for 5, 6, 7 hours a day trying to figure this thing out. And I didn't want to try to figure it out. I was a certified coach for years before I even started my business, and I wanted to do something with that. I wanted to start making a profit. I wanted to go from a hobby to a business. So I employed a coach, okay? The best damn coach that and she has rocked my world. She has helped me tremendously. She's a badass when it comes to the coaching field. So I hands down to my coach. But she helped me in that sense, and I got that coach because I knew that if I wanted to go from where I was to where I wanted to be, that I needed help. So you need to ask yourself what kind of help it is, and who are you, right? What kind of person are you? Do you have time, or are you that person that can sit down for 6, 7 hours a day and Google everything and write down stuff and do all of that? Are you the type of person that could do the trial and error thing? Let me figure out a little bit here, let me figure out a little bit there. Or are you like me, who are like, okay, I can learn this stuff, but I would rather, I need a coach to help me put it all together. So ask yourself that and really be honest with yourself, because some of you are thinking about the cost, but not really considering the fact that your time is costing, right? Every hour, every minute that you spend doing something and you spinning your wheels, that's money. And I don't have that I don't know about you, but I'm not trying to waste my money like that. So I don't have money to burn like that. So I needed someone to help me kind of put it all together, right? So 2, I had to get clear on my brand. So the whole thing was about getting brand clarity. And some of you are like, yeah, the colors, the logos. No, it goes beyond that. It goes beyond that. What is my message? Who am I serving? When people see me, when they hear me, when my social media is out there, what do they think? What is my messaging? What solution am I bringing to the table, to the people that I serve, right? So when you hear Lashana, when you hear the Success Navigator, what do you think? And when you experience with me, when you're coaching with me, when you're at a workshop with me, how do I make you feel? This is all part of my brands, right? So my look, my feel, my messaging, everything that I speak about should be all centered around this thing. My colors were purposely picked. They should evoke some emotion. So all of this went into my brand, and I had to get clear on that. Who was I speaking to, and what was I speaking about, and what problems was I solving? I needed to get clear on that, and I spent time on that. I didn't haphazardly just go out there, because I did that before. I learned my lessons. I had a business before. I had a nonprofit, and unfortunately it failed. And I learned from that. That was probably one of the most expensive experiences or life lessons that I had. But I learned from that. So I knew I didn't want to go into this haphazardly, and I didn't. And so one of the first things that we did was get some brand clarity. And this is that the fruits of my labor is what you see. So when you see my colors and you see my wording, you see my messaging, you see me come on, you see I'm all about the shoes. My shoes are part of my brand. So when you see me, I am a walking billboard for my brand. And you need to get clear on that. I need to get clear on who I was serving and what solution was I solving for them, right? So I got clear on all of that. Number 3, what I had to do, and so I can go from where I was to where I wanted to be, I had to establish goals. Again, I worked in corporate America for 20 years or so before I started my business, right? So all I knew was how to do it that way. So how do you start in this business? I was like, how do you start with this? Or do I send out an email blast? Do I get on Facebook? How does this thing work? So I needed to figure out my goals, right? I needed to figure out, what did I want to do? Did I want to grow my business by X number? Did I want to get 5 clients in a month? Did I want to achieve some revenue goals? What did I want to do? What was I striving for? So I needed to sit down with my coach and we had to set out some clear goals. And for me, that was exposure. So I wanted to get out there. So I did a telesummit. And it was more of getting my brand out there on social media. So I had a social media strategy. So I had to, get those goals out. So for me, I needed to know, okay, I wanted to do this. I wanted to do that. I wanted to do this. And then the fun part began. But in order for me to do that, I needed to be clear about where I was going, what I wanted to do, right? Some of you are not even clear about that. You're like, I want to launch my business. But yeah, do you want to, right, like in the next 3 months, do you want to gain exposure? Do you want to gain reach? What is it that you are trying to achieve? Do you want to achieve a revenue goal, profit goal? What is it that you're trying to do so that then you can kind of carve out how do you make that happen? But some of us are like, I want to launch my business and this is what I need to do. And it's like, wait. If you want to achieve reach, then you need a market strategy to do this. If you want to gain your social media presence, then you need a social media plan to do this. You need to set those goals in order for you to know where and how to do that, right? And you need to know what you want to do. So that is part of my whole thing. Like, I am so good on the goal setting till it's not even funny. And that is what I'll be talking about in my Paycheck to Purpose Summit coming up on March 3rd and 4th. The whole process of goal setting and how to achieve those goals, right? So what was I up to? Number 4? Yes, number 4. I created an action plan. So from my goals, then I could set some real action plans. So like I said, one of my things was to gain exposure. So part of that was to get a telesummit, to put on a telesummit. So what did I need to do that? So it was like, get the people, get the subject, get the marketing, So I had a full-blown plan for how to achieve that one goal, right? So that was my first goal for it was in my first 3 months I wanted to do that. And so that's what I did. I did my telesummit. So then my other one was that I wanted to increase my social media presence. So I went on Facebook, did it. So I had the plan and action to do that. So we mapped it out. Each one of my goals had actionable items, and it had a timeline and tasks that I needed to do, right? So this is what you guys need to do when you are developing, when you're like, I want to launch my business. You need to follow these steps that I'm teaching you because they saved my life and they helped me to get to where I am today. And now I know what you need to do. Boom, 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 boom. I know how you need to go. And I have that. I'm not saying that I know everything. And if you go with a coach that says they know everything, Lordy Jesus. But what I am saying is that I learned from that process and I was able to gather those tools. I was able to learn more about the systems behind the scenes. I learned about marketing. I learned about the branding. So I learned all of that in achieving my goals and setting up this action plan. And so we had it all out. It was on Post-it notes and everything, whiteboards. We had everything so that I was able to go from where I was, like I said, to where I wanted to be. And hopefully that is what you want to do, right? So the fifth thing that was so important and that I needed was the accountability. So like I said, when I did my action plan, each one of those things had a timeline. And every time that came up or the deadline that came up, my coach was on it. She was like, did you do this? Where are you? How you doing? Do you need help? Do you need assistance? What do you need? So that first of all, I knew that I had the support and I had the backing of my coach. And then also it kept me on track because it's easy to fall behind when you're doing it for yourself, right? Nobody's watching you. Nobody's saying, did you do that? Did you do that? There's nobody saying, oh, you won't get paid unless you do this. There's none of that when you got your own business, right? Well, when you're a parallelpreneur, right? Because when you're an entrepreneur, I know y'all are like, baby need to eat, so I need to make this happen. I get it. But when you're a parallelpreneur, sometimes you get complacent, right? So I needed that. I needed somebody to be like, hey, did you make that happen? What did you need? Okay, the deadline is coming up. Did you achieve that? So I needed that in, for me. Now, some of you may be like, I got this. I'm good. I'm on my own. That's fine. You got to know who you are. But if you're not receiving any kind of results, I think you need to, readjust or rethink your plan there. So, like I said, the 5 things that I needed to do, and that I think that you need to do as well, in order to go from where you are to where you want to be. If you are truly ready to launch, like I said, the first thing that I did was I employed a coach. I needed to get somebody who had that experience, who knew, who could help me devise my plan, to help me get that, to transition from the mindset of corporate to the mindset of entrepreneurship. I needed that, right? 2, I needed to get clear on my brand. I needed to know that I know who I was serving and what and how I was going to provide solutions for them. And I got 2 avatars. I know who they are. I know all their demographics. I know what they're all about. I know what their pain points are. I know how to serve them. I know what they want, what they need. So I know all of this about my avatars. And it was all because I went through that whole process of being clear on my brand. So please, please, please get clear. Clarity is king. And especially when you are out there and you're doing your business, you need to be clear. Number 3, what did I do? I established my goals. So with the help of my coach, I established my goals. Some of them were short term, like in the next month or 2, and some of them were long term, within the next year. But I had those goals and I mapped them out, and we had, like I said, I had Post-it notes and all of that stuff, but I had to know where I was going. I knew that I needed to know that so that I could map out that plan. I needed goals. How do you know what you want to achieve if you don't have goals? You need to set some goals. I wanted this to go from being a hobby to being a business. So I needed to set some realistic, achievable, challenging goals, because again, I really wanted to do a darn thing. So I did that. And 4, what did we do? We created an action plan. Each one of those goals had an action plan. They had what I needed to do, the steps I needed to take, the deadline, when was, the timeline, when did I need to check in? All of that stuff was part of that action plan. And each one of those goals had that. And so I not only knew what I needed to do, I know how I needed to do it and when, which was so important for me, especially, like I said, working a full-time job and having a business. Deadlines is key for me. I work on deadlines. My calendar, if it's not in my calendar, I don't know what's going on. The only things that I do that's outside of my calendar is brush my teeth, bathe, and eat. And that's because my stomach is on its own calendar. But outside of that, everything is on the calendar, okay? And then number 5, what did I need? I needed accountability. I needed my coach to check on me, okay? I needed for her to be like, okay, this is coming up. Because if you write these deadlines down, and like I said, and you're doing it for yourself, you're like, okay, I knew I was supposed to do it Friday, but I'll get to it next week. I didn't have that luxury. I didn't want to do that anymore. It wasn't a hobby for me anymore. This is real. I wanted to launch my business. So I needed to make it happen. I needed to make some sacrifices. I needed to put some things in action, and that's what I did. So those are the 5 things that I did to, like I said, take me from where I was to where I wanted to be. And that's some of the things that I'll be talking about in the Paycheck to Purpose Summit. And then there's more tools and all of that stuff and strategies and all of that good stuff. I did mapping it out and doing the whole, kind of doing the flow and the agenda of it. It is going to be so awesome. So excited about it. So for those of you who don't know, I'm doing a summit, Paycheck to Purpose Summit, March 3rd and 4th in Atlanta. So I hope to see you guys there. But like I said, if you're ready to launch, these are your steps. And so I hope you're taking notes, taking heed to it. I would love to hear your comments. Put them in the comment box or inbox me. Let me know what's going on, because I want you to live out your purpose. I want you to do that thing that makes your heart sing. I want you to live out live out what God has destined for you, okay? So if you're ready to do it, let's stop talking about a thing and do a darn thing. I'm all about action, right? So make it happen. Make it happen. So, like I always do, I don't want to keep you. I gotta eat. My stomach is like, so for real, we're gonna do a Facebook Live before we eat. But I was like, yes, let me do that before I unwind, put on my my sweatpants. So I wanted to come to you and and share these nuggets before I kind of unwind and go to the next phase of my day, which is some more work, doing a little business, and eating some food. So I am Lashana Williams, the Success Navigator, your coach and your guide on the journey to success, and your accountability partner to help you go from paycheck to purpose. Please subscribe so that you know that when I'm on, because I will be on Mondays and Thursdays, sharing with you nuggets, giving you coaching advice, or sometimes I'll just come on and we can just chat. So I would love to hear your comments, your thoughts, your feedback, and add to whatever I said. I learned from you just as well as you learned from me. So I hope this was another nugget-filled, rich kind of Facebook Live, so that you learned something and you took down those tips and you are going to put it into action. None of this will work if you don't put it to action. So I'm going to let you go and put it to action. Do what you need to do. Set those goals. Create that action plan. And let me know if you need an accountability partner. I'm here for you. So I will let you go. Lashana Williams, the Success Navigator, saying have a great rest of your Monday, a productive Monday. Have a great week. And I will be speaking to you soon. Bye.